Aloha. So today I'm going to be teaching you a very simple shift in the way that you've been breathing that is going to drastically improve and supercharge your breathing meditations, your breathwork practice, your habitual breathing throughout the day. Now I came across this subtle shift when studying a bit of Neigong and Qigong. Now in this practice we have a energy center, the Dantian, which is just below the navel. And this is meant to be like a battery, like a storage place of energy in the body. Now, when we're breathing, what we want to be doing is actually pushing the breath. We want to be pushing the breath so it's expanding into the lowest parts of our torso, expanding into the Dantian. And then what happens naturally when we do this is that actually the breath naturally expands and rises up into the heart. So the energy flow begins to actually move up through the body. Now, what I had been doing for a long time was actually kind of pulling the breath. So pulling the breath up. Some people use the shoulders and the neck muscles. Now actually what I found to be the most potent and actually to get me into the highest vibrational state is when I'm pushing my belly out, I'm pushing the breath. And then I'm pushing up through the solar plexus and then it rises up through to the heart. So the breath is like a wave. This is the ideal way that the breath flows through us. It's like a wave, okay? So you can give this a go now. You can begin just by actually just drawing the breath down as if you're breathing almost like down through the spine, down through your feet even. But it's expanding the belly, it's pushing the belly out. And you'll notice that there'll be some tension in the solar plexus as the belly expands. But just breathe into this tension into the solar plexus. So you're really pushing this belly out like there's a pot belly. Drawing this breath down, opening up the throat. Drawing this breath down into the lower belly. And you can even put one hand on the solar plexus area and just a bit of loving touch here. So we're expanding and we're opening the breath up, but we're pushing the breath till it expands and flows up into the upper parts of the body and the higher chakras, if you believe in that. We're not pulling it, we're not forcing anything, we're just expanding the energy body. You can imagine it like you're pushing you're breathing into your navel, this energy center, and this energy center is expanding out from you. Okay, so it's a horizontal expansion. It's not that the breath isn't rising vertically, it's expanding horizontally. Okay, so if you do have lots of pressure in the solar plexus, which a lot of people do, I invite you to just give that a gentle massage. You know, a bit of acupressure, putting some pressure onto the muscles, onto the diaphragm where there's tension, finding where there's some tension, and just gently expanding that breath, pushing that breath into that space. And exhaling, letting go. The exhalation is where you release that pressure. And in time what happens is that this energy flow begins to open up. We begin to open up these energy channels in the solar plexus and through the navel, and this breath begins to rise up. So you can use your hands as a guide. Use the breath to open that up. So it's really this subtle shift where we're pushing the breath outwards into the lower abdominal walls, and there's this kind of this rotation that occurs where this energy and this breath kind of ends up flowing up through the chest, up into the heart, up through the throat, and even up into the head. And that's where this energy flow, and that's what gets me into this heightened state. And when I go to these very heightened energetic places where it feels so expansive and open and my heart is open and so much energy rising through me, this is the breath that gets me there. And yeah, it's very profound, but it's a very subtle shift. It's this horizontal pushing the breath till it expands and rises up instead of pulling the breath up. We don't want to be pulling the breath up. We don't want to be breathing with the upper chest or the shoulders. We want to be using our diaphragm and our diaphragmatic muscles, and that is creating this energetic flow, okay? And one of the other ways that we can supercharge our breath is actually by using the breath as a vehicle of energy, which it is. The breath is this vehicle of life force. It brings in fresh oxygen that nourishes our cells and keeps us alive. But actually, on a slightly higher level, the breath is a vehicle of integration of intention. So we can use the breath to actually bring this intention into every single cell of our body. So say we have an intention to heal, we can use different affirmations to connect with a certain energy, a certain mantra to connect with a certain energy, a certain vibration, a certain frequency, and use that to expand that energy into every single cell of our body, because our breath is a vehicle of consciousness into the body. It brings us into the present moment by grounding into the breath and feeling that breath flowing through us, because it is a movement through every cell. And everything is vibration, everything is frequency, it's energy vibrating at certain frequencies. Now you can think of the vibration of hatred or anger or jealousy or shame or guilt. How does that feel in your body? It's very dense. It feels like a very dense energy, a dense vibration. But you can think about the feelings of inspiration or awe or wonder or gratitude or appreciation or love. These are very expansive energies. They're very heightened. You know, it will give you energy when you're in love. Think about when you're in love and you're just bouncing off the walls, you're jumping out of bed. And gratitude as well, it has such a powerful, potent energy behind gratitude. It can take us from being in a place of wallow and pity and despair, and take us into feeling expansive and appreciative of what we do have in our lives. And for me, that's been potent. But what we can then do is connect with that energy. So we can connect with a feeling of gratitude. What is making us feel grateful? You know, we know how intuitively it feels to feel grateful. Every time you've ever experienced receiving something, you felt grateful most of the time. So that's what we're connecting. It's the ultimate state of receiving. So we're receiving the energy through the breath, and we're connecting with this place of receiving. And that feels so good when we use the breath as a vehicle to integrate that through every single cell. So you connect with that energy, you can put the hands on your heart, connect with this feeling. And use this belly breath, this pushing belly breath, to expand all of this breath through every single cell of your body. Feels really, really good. And this is actually a practice that the Sufi mystics would do. So the way that they would look at the breath is that it is a vehicle of integration, and without an intention behind it, it's basically a conveyor belt that doesn't have anything on it. But the Sufi mystics would say that by connecting with Allah or God, that frequency of God, that frequency of the divine, a frequency of source consciousness, pure unconditional love, and by breathing that in, the breath acts as this conveyor belt for this energy into your energy body, into your soul, into your spirit, and it can be empowering. So you can repeat Allah or Hashem or Buddha or whatever the deity is, Ganesha, Shiva, whatever the energy is that you want to connect with, the Divine Mother, whatever that energy is, you can connect with that and inhale that intention. You can repeat the word Divine Mother, Divine Mother, and breathing that energy in, and that's in a very expansive way to do this. And my final tip to supercharge your breathing practice is to connect with some kind of visualization as you're doing this practice. So when you're doing your breath work, when you're taking a few minutes to have a little conscious breathing practice and you're just connecting with the breath and letting it flow, why don't you connect with some kind of visualization? What resonates with you? Well, for me, I like to connect with a flower blossoming. As I inhale, I'm embodying the flower blossoming. I'm embodying these beautiful flowers blossoming into the sunshine. So this is one of the techniques. Another thing you can do is to embody golden light radiating through every single cell as you inhale, and you feel that breath going through every cell. Okay? So there's a few tips there to supercharge your breathwork practice. Let me know how it feels for you. Give them a go. Feel free to share in the comment section, and please do subscribe for more content like this. And yeah, I look forward to sharing with you again soon. Have a beautiful day.